Good Voch Rabboisai. And there's still a little bit of an echo there. I had to figure out what day we were in. We're in Matzah Shabbos, without the tie, without the suit. Live from Chodorov in Chicago. Shkoyach for coming out on a Friday afternoon. Yishkoyach to the Beis Medrash here for hosting us and hosting us for the rest of Ben Azmanim for the part that I'm going to be here. Besides a few days, I'm going to be going to Los Angeles, maybe even to New York a day. We'll see. We'll see what the schedule is. For the last 10 years, I promised my wife on every anniversary, I said, you know, it's not a big year. It's 21, 22, 23, 27. We don't. So now it's 30. I have to do something. Marty, you still holding?
75th today.
But you still have the siddur for my chasana in your pocket? Givaldik.
July
31st, yeah. Somebody said, how'd you get married in the 3 weeks? It wasn't the 3 weeks. It's just, she celebrated. Okay, fine. We're not going to go there. Just a few emails here. Let's see what we got. I have to see if I could even read this. In today's share, someone emailed you about the vort of not letting people live rent-free in your head and to make shalom. Somebody emailed me. Well, I spoke about not letting people live rent-free in your head. When you have machlokes, they take up a lot of room in your head. You're always upset at them. And it just harms you at the end of the day. I want to thank you for the chizuk. It's important you saw that I'm sure many people knew, but b'derech of the Mesilas Yesharim, you're packaging, planting these important yisoids into the daf, makes that much more vivid in our minds in a practical way. I wanted to share a personal example. I hope it will be helpful to others. At various points during the year, I worked with my ex-wife to create schedules. But Kitzer has a lot of issues. There's a lot of people, when they get divorced, they have issues with their ex. And many times I think about being mevater. Over the past 2 weeks, we were once again involved in creating some schedule. The Kitzer, and then he decided to be mevater. Wanted to share this for 2 reasons. Number one, to thank you and to give another concrete example to let you know how personally that you make a difference in people's lives in a real way. Thank you. Number two, for the tzibur, especially during the 3 weeks, where we're trying to remove sinas chinam. Sinas chinam happens when we create a pirda, separation between ourselves and as individuals from other yidden, and make them individuals over there, as opposed to viewing ourselves as part of one organism, where you and me and him are all part of one guf. There's no you and me, it's we. With me as a hand and you as a foot of one Klal Yisrael. Similar also to the word you said on Yeshua ben Gamla and the orphans, there is Hashem, with that paradigm, we can work out our differences as Klal Yisrael and the individual tzibur level by working ourselves, free heads, live rent-free in our heads. There is Hashem, that should open up new possibilities of how we interact with others and be zoicha to gula soon. Yosher koyach. What else? Oh, we went to Neria. Neria is a yishuv in middle of Arabville, where I almost drove into an Arab, I don't know what it is, and there was a big red sign. When you see those red signs, it says, warning, you might not come out alive. And like, it can't be. And Waze was saying, no, keep on going, you know? So here's 2 kids from Neria that the father, he found them learning. One is 7, and then the kid wanted to do another daf by himself. The kids are givaldic stuff. In the Beis Medrash now, we decided, because things fall apart when I go on Ben Azmanim, so a lot of people that are used to coming to the Beis Medrash, they stop coming, and then once they stop coming, they don't come back when I get there. So we said, okay, we're going to start giving food. Food is always. So sure enough, we did cholent, and you can see in the bottom left corner, this is what the pot of cholent looked like after the shir. 51 people showed up. Maybe there's more people there than when I'm there. I don't know. Baruch Hashem, the Hebrew shir is going phenomenal. And that's baruch what we have on a nightly basis. We have about 50 people there. So, Rabbi Isai, the Masechta, is sponsored with a safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Paras HaChodesh for the 4 shleima of Neftali, Haretz Ben Hani Leah, hidden tzaddik in our generation. Paras HaChodesh L'nishma Zechrya Ben Zechrya Bas Yosef. Paras HaYoim in honor of Yosef Masalaton. All right, gewaldige stuff. So we are holding the Amud Beis. I don't know if I showed you. Now I'm confused. Everything is confused because Hebrew was before the English, but it was the daf after the English. So it gets very confusing. There was a little bit of a drawing that Yoshi did for the sugya of ba'ayin yafa. When a person sells his property, he sells it with the largeness. He gives away all the property around, but he doesn't give up a bar dus. He doesn't give up like a swimming pool. It's not specifically a thing. So I asked Yoshi to do it a little different. I told him to put like a pathway. Does he sell the pathway? And if he doesn't sell the pathway, the question is, how does he get to the pool? There's no pathway. So the answer, we came up with a gewaldige answer. Here's the answer. He does one of these things. He brings a movable diving board, and he's able to jump in. The shiloh that the Olam had, a very, very important shiloh that maybe the Rishonim discussed, is how does he get out of the pool? Getting in is one thing. He's going to swim there forever. Okay. Rabbi Yisai, here we go. We're holding 3 lines from the bottom. And here's the shiloh. I think I asked this question yesterday because I remember Yosef answering the question. So let's see. Did I ask it in the Hebrew shir? Is there an Isra Lashon Hara to say that so-and-so is sitting on my property illegally? I scream in the street, this guy's a ganav. Did I ask it in the English shir? No. Okay. Isra Lashon Hara or not? You hear the shayla? Somebody's sitting in my house without permission. He's squatting in my house. The halacha is you have to make a macha. Is making a macha like that Lashon Hara? I'm telling the whole shul, this guy, Rosh Marusha, sitting in my house without Rishus. So what is he supposed to do? No, so what do you say? Yeah?
So the guy has dementia. He doesn't figure out where his house is.
Are you serious? So let's read 3 lines. Okay, good point. Let's read. Oh, very good. Says the Yeshiva Bacher. What's your name? Gedalia Zuk. What? Your Shalom's kid. Wow. Your father once did a favor for me. I don't remember what. So I said, I'll take you skiing. Took him skiing, ask him. Shalom Zuvnik. We went to Colorado together. Gewaldig. I know your uncle. I know your father. Zayda. Gewaldig. Okay. And I think and I just got a message from my sister that she met your father and she had come at China. So tell your father, I apologize if my sister caused you any trouble. Okay, Zokti Gemara. Let's get back to the question in three seconds. Hold on. 3 lines. We had a whole sugya. Does mecha have to be right in front of the machzik? You have a guy that owns the house. You have a guy that's squatting in the house. Does the guy that owns the house, does he have to go to the guy squatting in the house and say, hey, get out of my house? Or he could say it in shul. He could say it in the mikvah. What's the difference? So let's say mecha doesn't have to be in front of him. Mecha shalei b'fanav have a mecha. It's a good mecha. Heichidami mecha. How does it work? Omer Azvid, you have to say planyo gazlano. Well, time out. The Gemara says that's not enough. Planyo gazlano is a ganav lo yhave mecha. That by itself is not enough. It has to be even more. Planyo, here Yosef here. Planyo gazlano. He's a gazlan. You don't just say he's sitting he's a gazlan. The noked lo la'aroi b'gazlanusa. He's sitting there as a ganav. Ulemochar tavanule, and tomorrow I'm taking the dino, and that's have a mecha. Okay, so once we know this, the way to say a mecha is to say Ploini is a gazlan. Is to say Ploini gazlan, is that considered lashon hara or not? That's my question.
Why do you have to say that? So many other scenarios that could happen. He could have responded to a Craigslist ad and rented it for someone that didn't own it.
Okay, it's stealing from me. I don't care how. He's a nebuch. He didn't do it on purpose, but he's stealing from me. So there's actually machlokes rishonim. We go like the Rashbam. The Rashbam says like Rabbi Zupnik. that there's a toyelas here. And not only that, the Rashbam calls it a mitzvah. Pointed out here, if I could find it. It's not only not lashon hara; it's a mitzvah. Okay. So the Rashbam says this idea of toyelas, and there's a mitzvah. There's 17 people on this program, so that means there's other people. There's more people on the live than here in the room. Givaldik. Shalom aleichem. Good night of Shabbos. Whoever's on the live. All right, so we're going to continue weiter. Says the Gemara, top of Lamed Tes Amud Aleph. Happens to be that the Bali Basra, they say that this idea of mecha has to do with a person and his yitzhara. When a yitzhara tries to get you to do an aveira, you're supposed to make a mecha. But from this Gemara, you see the idea that the mecha has to be also on lahaba. I'm saying, not only am I not going to do this aveira anymore, I accept upon myself not to do it in the future. Now, do you have to say that in the mecha? You hear? Is it enough to say to a person, or as a mecha, I'm being moicha because ploini is a ganav? That's enough. Why is that not enough? And I'm going to, what do I have to say? And I'm going to bring him to Bezdin. The second part, okay, that he's sitting in my, if you just call him a ganav, so maybe he'll think, oh, you're calling him a bad name. When you explain that he's a ganav because he's sitting in your property, that's great. What do you have to add that I'm going to take him to Bezdin? So in fact, the Rashbam says, you don't have to say I'm taking him to Bezdin. That's a derech b'nei adam to talk like, oh, and I'm going to sue him, I'm going to take him to court. But you don't really have to add those words. So, Omar law, Omar lo temru le'mai. Maybe there's a way to tell him that 25,000 people are going to hear them on the recording. Maybe they should lower it a little bit. All right, Zok the Gemara. Omru, he went down. Now we have a series of questions. What if the guy, the owner, says, Omar lo temru le'mai? The guy says, he tells the Aiden, do not tell the guy squatting here that I said something. Here, we have a shtickle picture. Why not? This is for Leitzana's purposes only. That never happened before. Oh. The big guy is the guy squatting, and the guy making the mecha is the little guy. Says, don't tell the big guy that I made a mecha. So says the Gemara, Amar of Zvid, Hakamar le Temrule. What's the shayla b'chlal? Says Rav Zvid, he told Mefurish, don't tell anybody. So what kind of mecha is? Mecha means that it's supposed to go out there. I can't concentrate, unfortunately. Okay. Hakamar le Temrule. Where's Yosef? You didn't do it? Yosef, they're not makabel? Huh? What's that noise? What do you mean there's nobody there? You joking? The janitor? Oh, okay. So that for sure we should tell him. Omer Zvid Omar lo temrule. Says Rav Zvid. Okay, that's now I feel much better. Guys learning, it's a different story. How could that be a mecha when a guy says straight out, don't tell anybody? No, Rav Papa says, I just said don't tell the big guy, the giant, but tell the whole world. If the whole world knows, that's a mecha. Why? Because what's the whole point? The whole point of it, you told him. Mahana, all the people that are listening. Shkoyach, thank you. Says Rav Papa, of course it's a mecha. The whole point of the mecha is that the giant guy, he should watch his shtar, he should be careful with his shtar. Now that the whole world knows, okay, so you didn't tell him specific. Okay, that's enough. Everybody knows. He'll find out eventually. Why? Chavra islay, chavra the chavroch, chavra islay. Because of the famous saying that a friend has a friend and a friend has a friend, 5-6 degrees of separation, you could get to any person in the world. with 6 people because everybody has a friend that you know Trump, you know anybody in the world. I said the other day, how do you get to the Ayatollah in Iran? Well, I have a friend that knows Yerushalmi, that knows the Tur Karta guy, and he knows the Ayatollah. It's only 4 degrees of separation. It's not the biggest thing. And I have a raya. I'll show you later on. I have a video of a raya for it. Those Mishugaim were at the Levaya. You're not going to believe it. They're at the funeral. Yeah, the things here in Nebuch. So I just want to say, Chavit, I pointed out yesterday. I want to point it out again. Because of the matzav of Eretz Yisrael and Yidden around the world, so we have a very simple way of stopping this, and that's to increase Torah, Yiddishkeit, and Klal Yisrael. The whole shir basically is based on Chaver the Chaver Islay. And here, somebody just sent me an email today. Shalom Aleichem Rebelli. Last Sunday I had a flat tire here in Gullus, New York, and we were spoiled to have the great Chaverim service. So I figured, okay, it's Chaverim service, and he himself, and we're talking about Chaver the Chaver Islay, Chaverim. When the volunteer came, of course, I asked him if he did the daf with the rebellion. He did not. So I told him how to change his life. I'm not sure he signed up yet. But after Yishir today, Thursday, I immediately sponsored the Gemara in the zechus that my Chaverim volunteer, Daniel Jonas, begins the daf journey. So Daniel Jonas hopefully started today. Tiskal Mitzvahs is truly a great investment. Talmud in Psochim 26, recruited by Avromeir Farkovit. Remember who recruited him? In Psochim, 3 years ago. Jay Nathanson, also somebody who gives shiurim and everything. Okay, Givaldic. So it happens to be that after I mentioned yesterday in Shir, somebody donated 300 Gemaras, $10,500 for the Gemaras. Because I really believe it, seriously, I'm going to say it again. I really, truly believe it's the greatest tzedakah investment. Return on investment. I don't know of a better thing. You could give, let's say, an almana, and I'm not putting down any tzedakah in the world. I'm just making a thing. You give an almana $35. You didn't change her life. You helped her out. Yishmak, okay. So she's able to pay. For $35, you can literally change a family's life. A whole family. $35, the guy gets a Gemara, he starts learning. Got a free Gemara. We have people that are multimillionaires. They got a free Gemara. They started learning. It's not that they can't afford a Gemara. People love free stuff. So what kind of, if somebody could, I challenge somebody to tell me what other tzedakah has such a return on investment. $35 to change a person's life. The guy took a chizuk, he gave $10,000 on the spot. So I think it doesn't mean that the Olam should stop sponsoring Gemaras. I think there's still room for volume 2, but it's a very, very nice gesture. So Yishkoyach to Mr. Anonymous, and there was a Mr. Anonymous the day before, they gave $1,000, a little bit more than 1,000. So Yishkoyach Golem Hoyd. Weitergegangen in Shas. Chaver the Chaver Islay. No, I'm saying Bifrat. I wouldn't emphasize like this, but Bifrat, what's going on now in Eretz Yisrael, this particular day on Shabbos, and there's a certain unknown. There's the unknown, and that unknown is a little nerve-wracking. Omer Zvid. Today it was 7 in the morning. It was the shir was playing in the Beis Medrash. I jumped on Zoom for a minute. So one of the Leitzanim said, "Yeah, we're so scared here. Look at us. We're mamish sittering." You know, he's joking. You know, it's like, "Oh, what are you making us make us look as if we were all scared, etc." But it's not so posh. Okay. Omer Zvid. What about another question? Omer Lei Loy Amnin Lei. What if the Eidim look at the guy that's doing the macha and they say, "By the way, thank you very much. You're telling us this macha. We won't tell anybody." So Rav Zvid is l'shita. Look, it's not a good macha. You should have, once they told you this, you should have found 2 other Eidim that are going to spread the word. No. They are saying that they're not going to tell the actual squatter, but they're going to tell their friends in shul. Okay, third case. This is a case that we don't have a machlokes between Rav Zvid and Rav Papa. This is a given. Omar Luhu, he tells the Eidim, Lo tepuk luhu shuso. Not one word should come out of your mouths about this. He says, not one thing here. There's 2 Eidim in his mouth. Whatever I tell you, do not let it come out of your mouth. Yoshi thought this would be a good idea. Don't ask me why. It's not bad. So there's no machlekes. Now what? Omer Zvid, Omer Leitebikul Chushusa. You told them not to tell anybody. No one, not even their friends. You know, Stamazai, they say that the best way to get something out there, to let people know about it, is to tell somebody, don't tell anybody. That's a guaranteed way. The Yeshiva always used to say, if I want the whole yeshiva to know something, I call 3 Bachar in. I say, listen, I have a secret here. I don't want you to tell anybody. We're going on a special trip in 3 weeks. The whole yeshiva, within 2 minutes, the whole yeshiva knows. Fine. If somebody what? It is Isser Lashon Hara. There is Isser to say over a secret. And I don't know. It doesn't work. He's saying it's not a good mecha. Like we're going to be machmer. They're going to keep the halacha. They say that Churchill's barber was giving him a haircut, and he said, "I want, sir, could you please tell me one secret? One secret." So he said, "Do you know how to keep a secret?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "So do I." Zog Gemara. Amrulei. What if the Edom say, we're not going to tell a soul? You're wasting your time with us. You told the wrong people this macha. Oh, now here Rav Papa is saying like Rav Zvid. It doesn't work. We said straight out, we're not going to tell a word. And this we have a machlekes as well. If you didn't tell them not to say, he's gonna, by mistake, spill the beans. He won't realize it. The other way to read it is something that's not on a person's mind. We use it a lot. It's a known saying. When something's not on your mind, if something's not important to you, then you don't deal with it. For instance, a guy, a big marriage counselor once said, so a guy came to him, a husband said, listen, I don't know how to deal with my wife. She says this, and she really means that, and I can't figure it out. You know, the women are so different, and this and that. So he said, listen, when you were dating, you were perfect. You knew exactly what to say, what to write, what gift to get, and how to do it, and how to act. Oh, then you were a big maven and a big chacham. All of a sudden today, so what's the shot? Why today you're not such a chacham, you're not such a maven? Because you don't care anymore. Then you cared, now you don't care. Okay, right, Reb Zalman? Makes sense? We can all relate. We can all relate. Besides the Bachar, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, the same thing, like if Torah is on your mind, this is important to you, then it's something you get done, something that happens, bin azmanim, not bin azmanim. It's important to you. If it's not important, then it didn't work out. Okay? You have to make sure that certain things are important to you. Oh, so Yoshi did this from Mecha Shloi B'Fanov. It's not bad. It's a guy on vacation, Niagara Falls. He makes a mecha. He goes around with the sign, B'nai Yisrael Ein Hefker. First of all, when it comes to mecha, the first line is B'nai Yisrael Ein Hefker. Nothing to do with the piece of property. You have to just know B'nai Yisrael Ein Hefker. Then, Plani Gezlanyu, Doikim Lolara, because Lanu Sola, okay, fine. But I told him, listen, this is more in Yonah D'Yoyma. Here, check this out. Because of this video, here, they're taking him with the Palestinian chveisvas on his head, showing him the body, the novel. So I told him he should do something like this. This is more like it. So he's in Iran, and he writes in the bottom, Haduras Rebelli, because I told him to do it. And Chabi did the other one. Allah Basara Shamayim Hay Gavra Ochorav. Ravat Abachim Ochor. Ravat Abachim Hashem Mosas Nafshe Begolus Katar Ba'achshav Hichzis Nishmosa Tanura Derekia. Okay, so that's the wild eyebrows, the whole thing. So if a guy like that is in Iran and he does a mecha, does it work or not? Does it have to be b'fanav? Does he have to be in front of him or not? So Rava says in the name of Rav Nachman, the Gemara is medayik that Rava doesn't hold like this. Rava doesn't hold because he's bringing Rav Nachman. I hold differently. Rav Nachman says like this, and I don't understand him. Why would he say something like this? Why do you say that it works? Thumbs up, works. Rebbe Yehuda. Sorry, Rebbe Yehuda. There's a Tana, Rebbe Yehuda in the Mishnah. I don't care, even though we showed this, I got to show it again. It's Mardi. First of all, it takes something like this takes about 30 hours of work. This one video here, so you got to show it again. In the time of Chazal, when people wanted to go from Eretz Yisrael to Spain, it took 365 days to get there. Today, it takes how long? 4.5 hours. By car, how long? 60 hours. But even if you do Google, whatever, it comes at about 365 days. If you walk about 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, that's how long it takes. It takes about 1,000 hours. The kids can't go Shabbos. Here we go. Let's see if it still jumps. So he's doing a chazak here on the ground. This guy heard it. Now he's going. And now the clock starts ticking. Whoa. He's walking through the globe. France, Italy, the whole thing. Boom. Guys on the beach. Shalom Aleichem. What? Oh, okay. Let me go back. So he starts walking. Let's get the seat. And he walks back. 365 days that way. So there's a total of 3 years.
Why can't you take a boat?
You're guaranteed to die. You have a 10% chance you'll survive the ocean. Kasha v'maisa. I don't know. How do you take a boat? Do you take a boat all the way to France? All the way through?
Look at the map.
Let's go look at it again. No, later. So, how many people survive that? I think I'd rather walk it than to take the wooden boat. Correct. Walking is very, it's all dangerous. You're right. The sun, the whole. So what does Rabbi Yehuda say? Listen to this bomb question. You see where the Gemara is getting at? If I'm in Spain and somebody told me that somebody's sitting on my land, what should I do? Should I walk back to Israel, to Eretz Yisrael, 365 days? Hold up a sign in Spain and make a mecha. Mecha shaloi b'fanav, have a mecha. It works. So why do I have to walk to Spain? Asked the Gemara. The guy is sitting on the land for a whole year. Oh, but did you notice the burning garbage can? Murdik. Today we're ripping into the interior karta. In here, when my father-in-law did the once a year fundraiser for his son's yeshiva and the whole thing, so he does it in the hotel there. So it's on Thanksgiving, and the Palestinians used to do a whole day and they would bring these in the tour card in to speak. So we would see them. So I asked them, "You want to be starved to minion?" No, they don't want to be part of us in our minion. Why does he have to come all the way from Spain, all the way to Eretz Yisrael? Let him sit on his recliner over there on the beach chair and make a mecha. Says Gemara, you're right, 100%. It works. The only reason we told him to come to Eretz Yisrael, so that the guy doesn't eat up all his fruit. It's his fruit. You want to save that money, so come walk for a whole year so you could save a few pounds of fruit. So the Gemara is just medayik from the fact that Rav asked Rav Nachman, Rav himself obviously argues on Rav Nachman. But how could that be? Rava holds that it's a good mecha. Where? Just yesterday we learned that Rava holds that on Daf Lamed Ches. Says the Gemara, you're right. Also, the Shomar Rav Nachman Savra. Rav Nachman explained to him nicely. So Rava retracted his shita, and he actually holds mecha shlei b'fanav having mecha. In the beginning, he didn't know it, so he asked the question. But then, after he figured it out, everything is good. Now he actually holds a Rav Nachman the mecha shlei b'fanav having mecha. But his question was, what was his question? If it's true that mecha shlei b'fanav having mecha, then why do you have to come all the way? It says in the Mishnah, you have to come from, according to Rabbi Yehuda at least, the Tanakama not, but according to Rabbi Yehuda, has revealed and explained it. Why does he have to come all the way from Spain? And the answer is he doesn't. He would just give him a type. Then I also agree that mecha shlei b'fanav having mecha. Ashkechinu Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina, the Talmid of the Rabbi Yochanan. He bumped into the Talmid of Rabbi Yochanan. Amar Lu, Yomer Rabbi Yochanan Mecha B'Kama. How many people is necessary to do Mecha? You can't do it in front of one person. You need 2 people, you need 3 people. How many people? Rabbi Yochanan, he said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan Mecha B'Fnei Shnayim, it has to be 2 people. Rabbi Yochanan, he said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan Mecha B'Fnei Shlosh, you need 3. What's the source of the Machlokes? What's the Yisod of the Machlokes? What's the Svar? Lema but the Rabbi Barabuna coming for the Gid. Rabbi Barabuna call Mitzvah Sam Rabbi Tlos. Rabbi say you're gonna love this Gemara. Anything that's said in front of 3 people. The Chavetz Chaim brings this Gemara a few times. Anything, any lashon hara that's said in front of 3 people, less ba mishum lishna bisha. You hear? It's a heter for lashon hara. Somebody wants to say lashon hara. If it's in front of 3 people, not you say it in front of, it was said in front of 3 people, then it's obvious that the whole world knows about it. This is the idea. The chaver chavisle. If it was said in front of 3 people, then the word spread. And if the word spread, then it's not lashon hara. So too, when it comes to spreading the word, you say it in front of 3 people, not 2 people. You need 3 people. And 3 people, that's it, the word spreads. So is it true that if you say something in front of 3 people, it's not an Issa Lashon Hara. So the Rashbam here says, there's no Issa Lashon Hara here. It says before Shana Gemara, there's no Lashon Hara once it's said in front of 3 people. Chavetz Chaim goes into a tremendous arichos, maybe the greatest arichos he has in his sefer, is about this. Do not use this as a heter. He brings other Rishonim that argue on the Rashbam. From the Rashbam, it seems like, yes, it's a heter. But he says no. That the pshat and the heter of apet lasa is only when it's something that you could translate into 2 ways. For instance, it says, when you tell somebody there's fire in somebody's house, what does that mean? He makes a lot of food. So one way to understand it is he's a big fresser. All day long, he's making steaks and good food and hot dogs and whatever. The other way to understand it is he's a great guy. He has a lot of guests. Now, if it's something that you'd say right in front of his face, obviously you're not going to be calling him a fresser. You're calling him a big machnasorah. So if you said in front of 3 people, it's as if you said in front of his face, and therefore you could translate it in a positive way, not in a negative way. So that's the Chavetz Chaim. He talks about that. He says, you're right. When you say that somebody has a lot of food and that people come to him, that itself is lashon hara. The bottom line is, I forgot already how many conditions the Chavetz Chaim gives. He says in order to use the heter of apet lasa, you need like 7 conditions. I want to say something like that. He doesn't agree. I mean, if you want to be soymech on the Rashbam and other Rishonim, okay, but he goes out of his way to say mamish aser. It doesn't work. Apet lasa. Stam a story about the Chavetz Chaim, the famous story. There was a bacher who was drunk on Purim and told the Chavetz Chaim, Rebbe, I want to be with you in Gan Eden. So the Chavetz Chaim ignored him. No. He was very persistent. He said, I need to be with you in Gan Eden. So the Chavetz Chaim said, why? So he says, I keep my mouth. I don't say Lashon Hara. So the Chavetz Chaim said, if you promise me that you'll never say Lashon Hara for the rest of your life, I'll be maftiach you. You can sit with me in Gan Eden. So when the bacher, what's the word? He sobered up. He's like, nah, that's too hard. My entire life. So Chavetz Chaim said, get this guy out of here. I don't want to see him anymore. So he had such an opportunity and he gave it up like that. Arois. So Zog the Gemara. Mando Amar V'nei Shnayim. Let's say the Rabbi Baravuna says you need 3 in order for the word to spread. So 2 is not enough. Mando Amar V'nei Shloisha. It's like the Rabbi Baravuna and the 1. The Mando says you need 3 because he also like Rabbi Baravuna. They need 3 people in order for the rumor to spread. So perhaps that's the machlokes. Lo, that's not the machlokes. The Kuli Alma is the Rabbi Baravuna. Everybody holds in order for a rumor to spread. You need 3 people. So what is the source of machlokes? Mando Amar V'nei Shnayim Kosovar Mechosh LeBefonov Loi Have a Mechosh. So the machlokes is whether mechosh lebefanav have mechar or not. Here, just to make it easier, as I was saying it, I was saying mechosh lebefanav have a mechar, thumbs up. Mechosh lebefanav lo have mechar, thumbs down, because it sounds similar. Like mechosh lebefanav have mechar, lo have mechar. It gets a little confusing. So if you want to put a symbol to it, the mandama that says that you're supposed to do it in front of 2 people. This is a little dakistik, so you have to pay attention here. You should do it in front of 2 people. Why? Because he holds mechosh lebefanav loy have a mecha, no good. So if it's no good, why 2 people? Oh, Because obviously you're doing it in front of him. You can't do Mecha not in front of him. It doesn't work. So obviously he's in front of you. So what do you need two people? To testify that I did it in front of him. I'm not doing it so that he should find out. So Rashbam uses a beautiful lashon. I love the lashon. It's mamish cute. Look at this lashon. He says, "V'kiv in the micha b'fanav. Since you did the mecha in front of his face, ein lecha gilui milsa gadol mizeh. It's mamish gishmak. What's the whole point of mecha? Mecha is that he should find out about it. There's nothing better in the world than telling him in front of his face that I'll find. How better is he going to find out than this? Yeah, if you tell him in front of three people, eventually you'll get to him. But if I tell it to him, then of course he's going to know about it. And he'll be careful with the star and everything. Okay. Says the Gemara. Oh, and when you say that has to be in front of three people, that you don't have to say it in front of him. It's it's good, thumbs up. So why do you need three people? So that the whole world should hear about it and eventually it should get to him. Otherwise, the whole reason why works according to this man Omar is because eventually he'll hear about it. So I need to make sure he hears about it. How do I make sure he hears about it? By saying it in front of three people. Maybe everybody agrees, thumbs up, and it's a good thing to say. You can make a mecha not in front of him. So what's mecha? One man holds, I need witnesses. It's not that I need edim, but I need three people to let the rumor fly. Says the Gemara, Gidel wanted to make a mecha. Somebody sitting in his house, he wanted to make a mecha. So what did he do? He found three gedolim. He found three people who were sitting. And he made a mecha in front of them. So now, Turning the Daf is sponsored by Yisrael Share, Construction Management and Supervision, and the Life Share Community protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss. And by Kidnovations LLC in honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman and Fishel, and as zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, who I'm going to visit Beis Hashem after Tisha B'Av in Los Angeles. We're going to make a whole matzah, the 15th, 16th, 17th in Los Angeles. Live shiurim, Hebrew, English, ganze matzah, food, not food, gewaldige stuff. What? Trying to build up Los Angeles a little bit. So, here's the question. We're going to be done. Tell Shmulik we're going to be done soon. He came for the Hebrew share, to mechazik the Hebrew share. So, here's the question. When you make a mecha, who asked the question? Somebody asked me maybe yesterday also. How often do you have to make a mecha? That was you? You asked yesterday. How often do you have to make a mecha? Once every year, once every 3 years, once in a lifetime. The guy is sitting there, you made a mecha in 2023. Do you have to make it again? Mecha 2024? What's this story? So says the Gemara, he had to make a mecha. L'shana, next year, he came again to make a mecha. It's not necessary. Once he made a mecha in the first year, you don't have to make a mecha again. That's it, one time, that's it. So I thought that these words, it reminded me of a story that you all know already, but I'll tell it to you again. And there's a few new people here, so we'll cover the few new people. They said, as Bacher, they said, when you get married, Shana Rishani, you should learn night seder at home. At least night seder, be at home. Okay, great idea. I was learning the mirror then. We had an apartment in Arze. So, first night I'm learning, take out the Gemara, start learning, everything's going well. All of a sudden, my new wife, she knocks on the door, she comes in, she says, you have a phone call. So I did this whole calculation in my head. I said, wait a minute. I'm only sitting here for 5 minutes already, and she's in there with the phone call. This is going to be a very rough year of learning. So right away I go, Nuah, She's like, huh? I said, Nuah. She said, what's like Shemon Esrei? So that was it. Since then, she didn't know. You're not allowed to talk in the middle of learning. Told you you're not allowed to talk. Oh, you're not allowed to talk, and that was it. That lasted for about a day, two. No, just it lasted for a long time. It says like this. Kivin Shemicha, once he made a macha, he said, Nu Shana Rishayna, and the Shana Rishayna. Shuv and Tzarech Limchais. You only have to do it once. It works for the whole first year. Halavai. All right. Zok Gemara. Big in the army. Omer Lechie Barav. Somebody once asked my wife, "Is it true that story?" She said, "Yeah, but you think I'm stupid? What? You don't even think I have brothers, father? Or you think I don't know it's not Shemona Esrei? I didn't know it's Yom Kippur Shemona Esrei. I thought it's a regular weekday Shemona Esrei, but I know." However, you don't have to make a macha every single year. You have to make a macha once every 3 years. Why? Why do you have to make a macha every 3 years? Doesn't make sense. What are you dealing with? You're dealing with a guy who's a ganav. You told him to leave your house. He's a squatter. He's not leaving. So for a guy like that, you have to be concerned every 3 years. Leave him alone. Let him stay. If he's not going to leave, it's not going to help you. Macha, not macha. Why do you need to make a macha? So first of all, says the Gemara, like Yosef. Mamish, this reminds me of Yosef. Yosef is mamish on fire today. Maybe he's not a ganav. Maybe he thought, and the guy told him. Where was it? Oh, somebody sent me an email, Taka. I should have shown it. A guy kicked out the renter, and he moved into the house. Moved into the house, and all of a sudden, people start coming into his pool. So what's this? There's an app for pools. Pool something. What is it called? So the old renter kept on renting it to people. He was making money. He didn't live there anymore. So maybe that's what happened. Mech Teis, a guy that's using your pool is a ganav. He's not a ganav. On the app, it said that he could use it. He's not. Doesn't mean he's a ganav, but he's using it inappropriately. Shaloi ka'alacha, shaloi ka'law. The chigaz says Gemara gazlan so gadaydoch. He's a gazlan. Elo ki gazlan. Yesh lecha zaka. Okay, you're right. He's not a gazlan, but he's like a gazlan. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, the halacha is that one has to make a macha once every 3 years. You don't have to make a macha every year, but once every 3 years. Rabboisai, have a wonderful day, a Gewaldige Shabbos, and if you're watching this Motzi Shabbos, a Gewaldige week. We'll pretend that there was a tie here. Maybe the editor will throw in a tie for Motzi Shabbos. Yishkoyach Gadol Motzi Shabbos. English shir is at 10:30 and the Hebrew shir at 11:30. But throughout the week, Hebrew is first at 7 o'clock and English at 8 o'clock. Agud and Shabbos, thank you for coming.